All right, let's see. This side-by-side has 500 horsepower and it weighs 1,800 pounds. Add those numbers together, that equals fast. And it's coming up next here on Motorhead Garage. Hang on for the ride. Here we go.
Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, I know you've seen side-by-sides before, but whoa, Nelly, you haven't seen one like this before. This comes to our friends from Jeffrey's Performance. And RJ, you're responsible for this monster.
Obviously, Gotti's one of our flagship, our one-year builds that we really went above and beyond. But what we really do is everything from A to Z. Anything UTV related, whether you want an oil change, air in your tires, or a full build that represents something like Gotti, we do everything within that parameter. If you have something like a 2015 Ranger that you use on your ranch, or you have your sand vehicle, either way, you just call us and we take care of everything in between.
When somebody comes to you and they want a modified or custom UTV, how does that process work? Are they bringing you a vehicle? Are they buying one straight from you? How does it work?
Well, it can go either way. We have a lot of clients that call us from out of state that would like us to obtain a vehicle from a local dealer, and we go and pick it up, make the modifications, do their build list, and then the first time they see it is complete. Or they bring us a car, they give us a grocery list, we take care of the grocery list, try and meet and exceed those expectations, and then deliver it.
When you're going into the project and they make you that grocery list, a lot of folks, think they're going in for a $5,000 job, and then they look at the bill when it's done and there's all these extra hours and extra things built up. How do you guys handle that?
Complete transparency. From the get-go, we quote everything as close as we can to the T, so they know what they're getting into. They can also add and subtract from that quote and go into this with a complete knowledge of what they're gonna spend, as well as what they're gonna get. Now there's a couple variables, paint, or whether you want a different powder coat, or maybe your wiring is a little bit on the TBD side. Those things right there are the only things we really can't quote until we know everything. But we try and make sure that while you're leaving and your vehicle's with us, you 100% know what you're getting as well as what you're going to be spending.
And what's the range of brands of parts and accessories that I can buy?
Honestly, for us, we try and use quality parts. It's a big core value of ours. But if somebody wants something that they see and we don't have it, we can obtain it. We work with all major brands, and it goes, there's hundreds of parts, hundreds of manufacturers that we work with on a consecutive basis to try and make everybody's car exactly the way they want.
How do I know when I come to Jeffrey's Performance, it's what I ordered is going to be what I get at the end?
Well, a lot of that is knowledge-based from our team. We have an amazing sales staff, Alex, who runs all of our sales and most of our project builds. He goes through these bit by bit, piece by piece, mostly photos and maybe some video recognition. We can walk in the back at any time and show somebody this is exactly what you're talking about. This is what we're talking about from either a safety standpoint or a look standpoint, and go from there. So that shortens the process, but it also gives you a good awareness of what you're going to be getting at the end of this.
What's the range of clientele you're getting, and what kind of riders are they?
Despite everything going on, it's brought a lot of people outdoors. I mean, it's really everybody. This has been a great year. We have everybody from, 21 years old all the way up to 60, 70 years old. And it's great working with each and every one because everybody has different tastes. Some people's style points are in audio, and some people love being able to go to the mud, or they're on their ranch, and we've taken care of people that want to be able to flip a light and have 360 degrees of light to go move cattle with. So it really is a wide range of clientele, and that's one of the cool things is every day is different for us.
And a demonstration of how much money you could spend and how much you could do to one of these vehicles is right here. This is the Gotti. Now, this is your personal vehicle.
Yes. Gotti was a very special project for us because it was really aimed to cap our 1 year, and it really did. We tried to achieve something that I felt there was a lack of, which is a lot of technology based. We really went above and beyond trying to make sure that everything on here was something I would truly pick. None of this on here was something that someone was given to me or sponsored or anything like that. These are companies I work with that I truly feel make the best product. So starting with the suspension, we took it to shock therapy and installed the IQS, which is an intelligent switch system that helps you tune your suspension on the fly at the flip of a switch. Further than that, Power was a big point, and we had Corona Motorworks do the motor platform and Evolution Power Sports, the DS500 turbo system, which gives it all the power it's going to need.
Looking at this interior, the first thing that jumps out is that center console.
A big focal point was the interior. We wanted to resemble a lot of tech-based, and what's the most tech-based car right now is Tesla. They have no buttons, it's super clean, and it's driven to the point. That's what we did on the interior, full carbon fiber, as well as integrated the Motec C1212 dash, which was all incorporated by EVP mode. The mil-spec wiring harness, all the programming, EVP mode took care of us on that.
And something that sets this apart from anything I've ever seen is that deck on the back.
Yeah, so our guy Tanner over at RadFab did a full custom sheet metal rear deck. Everything was dialed in by specialty coatings as far as the colorway and the powder coat, and he really did a phenomenal job on it for us.
Did he do the painting as well?
No, the paint was done by Nick Santana. He's on the West Coast, one of the most well-renowned painters that I've been able to meet, and he took this on as a side project. He's retired, and he jumped in and painted this last car for us, and we're really appreciative of it because it turned out absolutely amazing.
Well, the vehicle's amazing. Thank you for coming in. And if you want something from the sublime to the ridiculous, check them out at jeffries-performance.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings next.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by RockAuto.com. All the parts your car will ever need. Moorhead Off-Road Engineering. When less is not an option, choose more. Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
Thanks for hanging on here at Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now you may wonder what's going on with this Jeep here. It's kind of all sprayed up. We got the dots all over it. Guess what? We just did a 3D scan of this Jeep because the owner wants a new grille. And the man we called, of course, is Andrew from AeroWorks Performance. Tell me the whole breadth of what you guys do at AeroWorks.
Yeah, so, we do a lot of composite parts. We do custom kits for people. Maybe they want a one-off part, or, maybe they want a part that they can't get their hands on anymore. So we'll use 3D scanning. We'll 3D scan either a full car, an interior, maybe even that singular part on the car, off the car, so we can get mounting tabs and everything like that. And then we can then 3D print either the part directly, or we can 3D print a mold and then use as a composite mold. So we'll lay up carbon fiber composite or fiberglass composite into that mold, and then we can produce a part like you see here.
This has to improve the process so much. It's a godsend for somebody with an old hot rod or a car that's, from the 30s or something like that, and they can't find a fender for it.
Exactly. Or maybe it's somebody who designed an aerodynamic kit, maybe for things between time attack, rally, anything like that, and they don't have anybody to just produce this kit. So then we can use 3D printing to then produce molds for that kit, and then we'll use composites to then create those parts.
Now, when a customer comes to you, are they coming to your shop? Are you visiting them? How does it work?
It could be either or. We can meet at a centralized location. We can meet at, maybe they have a shop or, a house garage, or they can just come to our shop.
Now, is there such a thing as a project that's too small or a project that's too big for you?
No, not at all. We could directly 3D print anything, fuel filter bracket, or maybe full kit for a car, wide body kit, aerodynamic kit. Nothing's too big or too small for us.
What kind of customers are you getting now? Who's using your services?
Hobbyists, fabrication shops, rally shops, up into companies that are looking to create multiples of kits.
Now, I know this client can trust you with their Jeep because you've got some pretty heavy hitters out there doing some pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, we're proud of clients we've worked with, like English Racing. They have the world's quickest and fastest Mitsubishi Evo 10. We've also worked with clients like Zach Wright, who have the world's quickest and fastest Ford Taurus, first gen. He's also been featured on other TV shows as well. We work with aerodynamicists. Some of them done work with F1. Some of them done work with Nissan. So anything across the board, like I said, from buyer who's a professional in this arena to just a hobbyist.
And the cost is pretty low, so it's pretty accessible to a lot of people now. What is the end result here? You do your 3D scan, and you can 3D print the part as one of the options, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
In my mind, that's just sort of a cheap plastic now. But you have lots of options for materials.
Yeah, anything from flexible rubber, they call it a TPU, it's a hybrid rubber and plastic, or anything from carbon fiber nylon.
Cool, and then we get into your composite work. So my understanding is you take the 3D scan, you turn it into a mold, and that's where you evolve into what we see here.
Yeah, that's correct. We'll 3D scan a part, Then we take it, maybe it's just a replica of an already existing fender, then we'll turn that into a mold, or maybe the client wants to add things like venting, maybe they want it wider, then we'll go into CAD like SolidWorks or Fusion 360, and then we'll modify it to their liking, and then we'll create a mold from that, and then that's when we'll take that mold and we'll use it for composite work.
Very cool. Let's start with the process for the scan itself now. We watched you do that. What was the first thing you did?
First, we sprayed down the car with a sub spray. It's specifically for 3D scanning. This is an sub white spray, so there's no time expiration on it. It'll stay on the car for as long as we need. And then we use positioning markers that are specific to this scanner. They're usually sold by the folks at Peel 3D. They're the guys who made our scanner. And then the actual positioning targets, it's kind of no rhyme or reason to where they go. It just has to have 4 positioning targets within our scanning square at all times. And then usually if there's extreme geometry, we try to get them on each side or each angle so the actual scanner can pick up the geometry of what we're scanning. And then what's also great about them is, maybe we have to go back to, maybe we scan across the whole car and then we need to, touch up a fender or go back and touch up a hood. The scanner will actually remember the positioning target pattern and will know where to pick up that scan again.
So what's the next step for somebody who wants to take this 3D model and turn it into a CAD model they can use on their own?
So then they would have to surface the CAD model. So usually they would have to buy another expensive program to turn those scans into CAD models. Now, what Peel 3D has done is they've packaged the 3D scanner with their program called Peel to CAD. So that means they could, they don't need another expensive program. They could scan it and turn it into a surface CAD model right within the Peel 3D program.
The technology is amazing, and whether you have a new vehicle, you want to put a new aero kit on or a new part on, or you've got to find a part for an old vehicle and they just don't make it, look them up at aeroworksperformance.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, I know a lot of you motorheads out there have fifth wheels and travel trailers and car haulers and that sort of thing, and you're probably great at driving the race car or the hot rod, but driving the trailer can be kind of sketchy when you're towing that behind you, and that's where our friends at Cub come in. Augustin, what can you do to make my trip to the racetrack safer?
Well, with this new system, we're able to give you blind spot detection, just like you have on your modern vehicles, but for your trailer, and make your lane changes a lot easier.
And we're not just talking race haulers, of course. I mentioned the racetrack, but it makes any trailer safer, any RV safer as well. So how does the system work?
So this system uses automotive grade components. This is the same blind spot detection system that you'd have on your truck, your cars, anything that you see out on the road today. By placing these sensors at the back of the trailer and running the wiring under everything, most everything is plug and play, then we're able to, through the indicator, notify the driver if there's something in the blind spot so you can't make that lane change, or it'll also beep at you when you are making a lane change and you're going to have that collision.
What's the genesis of all this? Where did you guys come up with this idea?
So some of us, we're actually car guys. We like going to the track. We tow, but there's always 3 major complaints for RVing. One is backing up. We can't help you there. Next is lane changes. So with lane changes, it's kind of sketchy because you're looking in your mirrors. You can't really see that back corner. You can see something's there, but you can't tell if it's clear. With this indicator, it tells you clearly that you are okay to make that lane change.
And I saw a stat on your website. It said 75,000 people are injured every year in RV accidents alone. So
they are.
It's
a sad
RVs as
statistic.
well. Yeah, it's an amazing responsibility towing a trailer, and you don't really realize how long it is till you start doing it.
Right, and incredibly heavy. Your load is usually very expensive. You've got a nice race car in there, costs a lot of money.
You said there were 3 things that people complain about, by the way.
Well, the last one is a little bit kind of dirty business. It's cleaning the dump tanks.
We're not going to cover that this week, but maybe next week on Motorhead Garage. Now, how about the installation process? It looks like you have everything you need here for the kit, but how does it actually install on your vehicle and on your trailer?
So these sensors go on the back of the trailer, about mid-height for your hip. We have all the hardware that goes with it, gaskets to keep everything dry inside. We have these harnesses. This one runs the length of the trailer. This one runs between the left and right radars. This one goes up at the tongue. That's all done on the trailer. It's mostly plug and play, zip ties. This set right here goes on the back of your truck. This runs under your truck. This goes under your dash, plugs into a brain. Indicator gets suction cupped. and that's all you have.
Gotcha, wow. And there's a lot of instructional videos on your website, which is great, although every vehicle is different, but the installation is still pretty simple. Scott on our tech team installed it on our trailer, and he did most of the work on the truck, starting with the back, with the coupling in the back, and then ran the wire up to the front, and you finished it off. And what did you have to do in the cab of the vehicle?
So it was very simple. We just had one wire to connect. From here, we just connected to ignition, and we plugged in the OBD2 connector, plugged it into our brain, suction cupped that to the windshield. It took us maybe all of 10 minutes.
And what am I actually seeing there on the unit on the dash then when there's somebody in my blind spot?
So if you're just driving along, this gives you information. The indicators will light up to let you know if there's a vehicle on your left or right. If you're using your turn signals and you're trying to make a lane change, the indicators will blink at you and it also beep at you to get your attention. And if people are sleeping in the cab, you can go ahead and mute that. It'll silence it off.
We talked about installation being super simple, but if you're having an issue, besides the YouTube videos and the things on your website, where else can I turn?
You can always give us a call on our tech support line. You can find us through Instagram or our Facebook Messenger.
I know you guys are experts because you made really quick work of this too. And you thought of everything. As I look at this, it looks very durable, but this is going to be out in the elements, especially in the northern states where you have salt and things on the road that are that eat away at cars and things. So what have you done to deter that?
So all of our hardware on the outside is all stainless steel. All of our connectors are all automotive grade connectors, which are all weather tight. And for the bolts that attach to your trailer itself, they're galvanized.
Well, it's a fantastic idea. I think everybody should have it. It can save your trailer, can save your equipment, it can even save your life. You can check them out at rvblindspot.com. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Primal 4x4, transform your rig. Mobile Environmental Solutions, the leading portable mobile paint booth. And by Neil Chance Converters, home of the world's fastest automatic door slammers.
Thanks for staying with us here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now, I know you folks at home love Jeeps. Jeeps are everywhere, and the Jeep life is all about freedom. Well, here is an invention that is going to enhance your Jeep experience. Alan is the inventor. It's called My Wet Willie. Alan, explain what it is and what the inspiration was.
I love going to the beach. I love taking my Jeep to the beach, taking my doors off, enjoying the drive down there, feeling the breeze. But I was always afraid to leave my doors at home.
The problem is at night when you're leaving it out, you've got dew and you've got rain overnight.
Yep, and down at the beach, showers pop up, unexpectedly all the time.
And I've seen other solutions. I've seen people bringing tarps along, or you forget that, or it tears, and they're a pain to put on there.
I did that all the time. I would end up buying tarp after tarp because I'd forget to bring it, or, and a cloud would come up and I'd take off and get one. And they're really hard to put on. It just takes up so much room in the back. I mean, it wasn't practical for me.
And so no doubt if you've thought there's got to be a better way, Alan thought the same thing, and there is a better way. It's My Wet Willie. How does it work?
So it straps to the back roll bar, lives there. On the two-door versions, it straps to the back of the seat covers, the headrest. Everything's sewn to the bag. You undo the bag, but with Velcro strips, pull it all the way forward, flip it on each side, 2 straps, and you're covered. One person can deploy it in about 90 seconds.
There's a little extra bonus to it as well. We'll show you that, but first we're going to show you how easy it is to unfurl this thing. All right, we've got a Velcro strip all the way across here, and we'll unfurl this thing. Now, what do we have to do next?
You just unroll it all the way out.
Okay. Now, what's this made of?
It's ripstop material.
Okay, so it's good for kites and tents?
Absolutely.
Good enough for this.
We just headed at the beach. We're standing about 20 to 30 mile an hour wind.
No kidding.
You grab your side.
Okay.
And then we'll pull it all the way forward.
Now, we're doing this with 2 people, but it's doable with 1 person, right?
Absolutely.
Cool.
All right, put it under the windshield.
Couple hooks in the front. Now, where do I fasten this one?
There's a hole on the frame.
Okay, I see it.
And don't pull your strap too tight. Just get it good and snug for now.
Under the step as well.
We'll come back and get it all straightened out and pretty later.
Excellent. So loose here, and then we can snug it all up later.
Well, you got your tabs here.
And that makes it look nice.
Yep.
This thing it's functional and it looks great too. I really dig the way it looks.
And then in the back.
All right, and then onto the back.
In the back, there's a small little hook, little hole for the hook.
Okay, this is the little one.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's going on in the back there?
We're gonna come back here to the tail light, and there's a row of Velcro here that kind of ties it all together, and it also gives you a little access to your cargo area.
I love it. So you can still access the Jeep if you need to.
Yes, sir. You got a little elastic straps that go around your brake light.
Great, and this one goes around the spare tire.
Yes, sir.
Keeps it tight on there. Now the tent setup is super simple as well. Will, you're the co-owner of the company, and you guys made the tent setup super easy. How does it work?
We just want to make it as easy as possible with one tent pole, slides right through the long tent pole pouch, goes into the dirt or the sand, or if you're on concrete, goes into the sandbag.
Man, you guys thought of everything. Well, the sandbags even have the little sleeve in there for the tent pole. How do we get a hold of those?
Yeah, man, the sandbags come as a tailgate package, you know, because this is really off-road use, you know, camping outdoors, beach, whatever. It comes with the spikes, drives into the sand or dirt, holds it really well. If not, you can get the sandbags off our website, mywetwillie.com. You know, we try to cover everything, you know, the strings, so you're not going to trip over them. If you're camping or at the beach, tailgating, games, whatever you find fun.
You can do whatever you want because the Jeep life is all about freedom.
Right,
now, where can we find you guys?
mywetwillie.com.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode of the show. We're glad you tuned in. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day because I know we will. We appreciate your joining us. We hope you do it again next week. In the meantime, check out our Facebook page. And if you have a cool invention like the My Wet Willie, well, you can email Jeff at masterstv.com and get it here on Motorhead Garage, presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. We'll see you.